Alright, so I'm about to tell you that you don't need a DSLR, you don't need a good camera per se to make YouTube videos. And I'm about to show you some B-roll that I took using a super budget phone and how I made it look super good as well. And I'm about to call you out on your BS and hopefully get you to make some content. Let's begin. So when I first started off YouTube, I was recording videos using a 10-year-old Canon digital camera that was just really bad in terms of both video and audio, but I just decided, hey, I might go for it, and I just kept going, and on the way I got a budget phone, and the phone is actually right here, the Galaxy A5 2017. This is a super budget Samsung phone. You can buy it for under 500 Canadian dollars, and you know, this camera is not even really good. It can shoot at 1080p 30 FPS. You know, the colors aren't good. It has a bad sensor, and it's just generally, you know, an expected low-end camera. But I did two things that helped me step up my quality of the camera like at an insane amount, and I'm gonna show you what I did. But before that, I'm gonna do a quick reaction to a small part of a video that I captured using this phone right here, and hopefully I'm still surprised by it because I was surprised back then. Let's see if I'm still surprised. Alright, first of all, just from the A-roll part of me sitting down on my chair and stuff like that, you can 100% say that this is not recorded from a DSLR because it lacks that depth of field. But in terms of the clarity, in terms of the color grading, it gives it a little punchy effect that seems like it's not a boring recording. It doesn't look like it's recorded from this device right here. And this is not even the part that I'm proud of. Alright, so right off the bat, take a look at how steady that was. And keep in mind, I wasn't recording using any stabilizer. I didn't have a tripod. Everything was done by hand. I was literally holding and dragging the phone on my own, you know, keeping my hands sturdy. And that was how I did it. There was no stabilizer whatsoever. Take a look at that shot itself. You can see that it goes super smooth, super slow motion, and I'm gonna show you how to do all that stuff, but let's keep watching. Keep in mind that this was recorded February 1st, 2018. Now, I wasn't really good with editing even. You know, some of these edits are kind of corny and cheesy because there's a lot of flickering, there's some inversions that's gonna happen, but just bear with me. Just take a look at the quality just of the footage. I try to get that out of focus, in focus DSLR effect right there. Once again, this overhead shot was also recorded everything by hand. I think it's almost done. Alright, it's almost done. So, two things that are super key important when I did those videos were that never ever use your default camera app from your phone. So there's this camera app, I'll link it in the description below. I want you guys to go ahead and download it. This allows you to shoot at the most raw settings possible. It allows you to even 460 FPS when needed. You can shoot without having the Samsung filter on top because Samsung does a little bit of oversaturation and stuff like that, and you can remove their processing and get the best footage as possible. And most of all, you can also lock down exposure, you can lock your focus and do all that stuff. So highly recommend it. I want you guys to use that application when recording using your mobile phone, and also when you're using your phone to record, make sure you lock your focus and record, because some phones, especially budget phones, the Galaxy A5 especially, tends to, you know, have trouble autofocusing, and it just focuses out of the video mid-video, and you know, just lock down your focus. The second thing is in post-production, color correction is hugely important. I can't stress that enough. This footage would have looked so blank, so just flat if I hadn't color corrected it. And for color correcting, you don't even need to grab a lot online or anything. Premiere Pro already has some creative LUTs that you can use built in, and I think they look good. And if you mess around with the intensity a little bit and drop down the temperature using the basic correction, you can do a nice effect to the video and just make it look a little bit more cooler. And once again, cool videos that have a lower temperature are better for viewing experience, so your audience is more likely to enjoy watching it then. And also it just looks cool, like the blue overlay kind of effect looks kind of cool in my opinion. The second thing is, if you didn't notice, I also made sure to use a 16:9 widescreen aspect ratio for the B-roll part. And how I did that was I quickly dropped in an adjustment layer, put the crop effect, and just cut 10% from the top and bottom. The other thing that's super important in post-production is warp stabilizer. So as I said, I didn't use a stabilizer or a tripod for any of the moving shots. I just did it by hand, and how I got that to look stable was by using warp stabilizer. So warp stabilizer might zoom in or will zoom in your video a little bit, but as long as it's not cutting off anything important, you're sacrificing a little bit of the border to get a much stabler movement. And keep in mind, if your video is just like this and you try to get the stabilizer, the video is just gonna bend everywhere. But if you actually try to get it as straight as possible and then put a stabilizer on top, it'll look amazing. It'll look like you used a tripod. So those are the 3 steps that are important in post-production. And on top of that, if you do use that application that I showed you, it'll just be a perfect combination to make content using your mobile phone. And if you want, you can use the iPhone, and I believe the iPhone already has a good stock camera. So whatever you do, just I promise you, if you make content and just have value in your content, you will get views, subscribers, or whatever you want. Because I've had videos that hit like 35,000 views or whatever, using like a 10-year-old digital camera that has 0 depth of field, that was super duper blank. And as long as your content is valuable, your videos will blow up. And you know, I would say right now, if I had to choose between like an old digital camera or a phone, definitely a phone. And 100%, you guys are watching this video, so you must have some sort of device that you can record with, even if it's your laptop webcam. As long as you're putting something valuable onto the table, it'll help. And yeah, so I hope this information was kind of important to you or was useful, because especially coming from a small creator myself, I think you know, it's more relatable to me than, you know, listening to Marquez Bentley say, yeah, I also started from a small camera, but like, you know, he's big now, and you know, he's not relating too much to you. So I think maybe listening from someone like me who has a super small audience, I think you guys can connect with me more and make that connection, and I can relate to you guys. And I know how it is like to have to create content with low quality equipment, but trust me, it's not about the equipment, it's about the content, and you will get views regardless. So hopefully this video helped you get some tips for content creating and making your videos look better, and also motivated you enough to go ahead and make a video. If I did any of those, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and also turn on post notifications, because that helps out a lot. So with that being said, this is Tech Alpha signing out with today's video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.